Yeah. More than likely, if you just type in Ferret 3.5 or Weasel 3.5, you'll probably get those stats through the great and mighty Google. Okay.
If you do Control Space and type in the name of your thing, it comes up with a thing for you. It'll be minions, familiars, animals. And it pulls up a whole thing. This minion has no master. You need to sign a master for it. That's fun.
Interesting. Okay. Well, who would like to say what they remember from 55 days ago?
I would like us to not.
Oren was chilling in the woods at the farm, having fun with his friend Karis, and then he came back and everything was not on fire, as in a technical on fire, but a lot
Proverbially.
of fucking blood.
Somebody got
Can
attacked.
we please? Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah, what up?
I need us to stop talking for 1 second while I try to fucking turn everyone down.
Why not just turn your overall volume down?
Yeah.
It is literally as low as it can
Oh,
go.
I see.
Okay, I think it's good.
Is it? Um.
Yeah, so then we had to calm the storms of people who were obviously panicked. Because
Don't be real, I don't remember shit.
someone came into the town, bloodied and like almost dying.
One
was
of our people, not just a random.
Yeah.
A random would have been even more wild.
Was it Charity that was high off her ass?
In a mild fugue state, yes.
I forgot
just-
about that.
Left to lie next to the corpse for not complete corpse, but mostly for a little bit, and then they did some experimental surgery or like a blood transfusion.
Column A, go to column B.
I wouldn't really say it's necessarily an experimental surgery.
Yeah.
More just emergency surgery.
I don't know how many times Charity has pulled this off.
Well,
That's why I said experimental.
experience doesn't still make it experience. Just because it was your second time doesn't make it an experiment.
Um. Anyone else want to jump in?
No.
I mean, you've already remembered far more than I did.
And then we together and are thinking about trying to track down the thing that attacked him, right?
I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what the plan was after that.
I mean, the guy's still unconscious.
Hey, I'm waiting for him to come back enough to be able to speak to, I think.
Ouch.
So we don't head out there blindly.
And he had come in from being out on patrol or something, right? Or out working or something. Like he was out and came
Yeah.
back.
Yes, he was.
Oh. Were there other people that were supposed to be with him?
Yes.
Yeah. And they did not come back.
Excuse me. Man, I started
And
yawning
he
on
was
his
one
head.
of our, and he was specifically one of our scouts, not just someone doing a job outside of the city gates.
Correct. I think more importantly, but this was touched on briefly. The missing kitty was found.
Yes, yep.
Oh yes, that was important. Thank you.
That's why I have kittens. Or Mittens the kitten.
Excuse me. And I think it was last time, or the time before last, we went over. You interrogated Nightmare Lady.
About the dreams, right?
Silent, yes.
And she was lying about not having seen something or something like that. She lied about something. I can't remember exactly.
Fair enough. All right. Well, you are awaiting this still severely injured man. It's eventual regain to consciousness. I believe in the room right now is it would be Charity. What was her name? What was
Bunny lady? Treats?
Berga. Berga was there. The lumberjack. And then what was the name? Was it? No, not no. What was her name? And the cook was there. As well, but I'm not seeing her name.
Is that looking for Flavor Lady?
Oh, yes. Yes. I just don't apparently have her in my NPCs thing.
Lanella.
Kind of funny considering she's possibly the NPC we've interacted with the most. As a group.
Yeah, Lanella. I don't have her. Let me just copy her over real quick. Alright. So what's everyone doing?
We just had a
Don't ask her. I like the
conversation
video
with the group.
yellow.
Is there anyone that is currently guarding the perimeter?
I mean, the people that are normally guarding the perimeter. I think Tarako had sent some people around the edge last time, and they came back with nothing.
Okay.
Oh, it's also Karis' birthday.
Yeah, that's why I was
Yeah.
hanging out with Karis.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Excuse me.
Corm is going to go stand in front of the door to the the building that the kitchen is in. You know, the thing. Whatever
Okay.
the fuck it's called.
You just gotta stand outside.
I don't feel like I'm going to be helpful enough to be in there. But I'd like to be nearby just in case he wakes up and it's time to talk to him.
Okay. Yeah. He's currently, still just kind of passed out on a kitchen table.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's about 3 in the afternoon. So, no one has need of that table yet. But you don't really know how long it's going to take for him to wake up. He has just suffered traumatic injuries after all. Charity, are you just sitting over? Excuse me, standing over watching the man, like, checking his vitals and stuff. Hector, Terrico, Yabo, what are you guys doing?
I think last time Charity was cowering out of overstimulation.
Okay. And terror.
I'm
Yeah,
standing
just kind
over.
of collapsed after, like, the stressful, like, 20 minutes of surgery, hour of surgery, or whatever. Oh yeah, and I guess Yabo was there because he brought the body in.
Charity is a doctor and a researcher.
I think you all did show up.
Had started to organize messengers to go, like, collect the various people working outside of camp.
Oh, that's right. We did finish with that. We finished with an address to everyone at the town hall. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, we also just
Okay, that's why I was in the town hall.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know why I'm in this building.
gathered everybody out.
Yeah.
I was actually looking
Down
in
on
formation.
Yeah. You all just kind of walk in formation, deliver your speeches. People are. Excuse me. Can't stop yawning for some reason today. People are not pleased about the current situation, to say the least. But I believe overall, you guys had successfully de-escalated.
Yeah, a couple of us had rolled some pretty good diplomacy checks, I think.
And then Corum started talking first, so he was also there.
So he was also there. All right. So what are you guys? You just waiting for this man to wake up, basically? Just leaving him in the mess hall?
If I've got my shit together, I'm gonna like heal him now.
I mean, this is really the. You've basically taken care of all the superficial wounds. Like, this is beyond the point of, like, quote unquote, magical healing. At this point, and more in the realm of physical recovery. And less, like, injury care, wound care, first aid at this point. It's more just the recovering from the physical stress on the body than anything. Like, you've already gone through and done all the healing you could effectively do at this point. So I guess are you all just kind of relaxing for the rest of the night? Having him kind of hauled into whatever spare building has a spot available for him so people can eat.
Yeah?
I
I don't know, I can't think what else to do at the moment.
Okay. Alright.
I'm trying to have Cole on track back a little bit. That way we can go back just a little bit and see if there's anything immediately coming this way.
Yeah. And we know we have people out there still. Right?
Yeah?
I don't want to write them off as, corpses.
As in, we have other scouting groups, or just the rest of this guy's group?
The rest of this guy's group, there's probably 4 or 5 other people. Presumably missing.
Yeah.
Did we know what area they were working in?
They were originally kind of scouting like that. That kind of like outer edge of the plains. Kind of that outer ring down by the like swamp, doing that. And they were at this point kind of scouting just kind of the general open space in a similar way that you guys were doing, now that that area's kind of been mostly mopped up and cleaned up. So, if you go over to the map, the 1 mile hex map, you can kind of just see the general kind of edge around is where they were. So nowhere really specific at this point, just kind of mapping, looking for interesting things.
Yeah, I would like to go out and do some scouting of my own.
I'll go too.
I'm sure there's some sort of blood trail. Yeah, I'd like friends.
Okay, cool.
No, go by yourself.
How far are you going?
I mean, I don't want to go far. What time of day is it by the time we leave?
By the time you guys are done, it's probably about 4 o'clock, 4 in the afternoon. So you've got, it's summer, so you still have a few hours of daylight.
Yeah, I want to be back at least an hour before sunset, so that we can organize like increased watches.
Yeah.
So maybe like an hour out and just come back.
Well, we'll have more time than that 'cause it's summer. It won't get dark till what, 9, 10 o'clock?
Yeah, probably 9:30.
I guess I'm assuming that it's roughly the same as it is here.
So if we can do 2 hours out, 2 hours back.
Yeah, it'll be like 8:30. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
Okay.
told me all about this. You need to assign a minion and master, and I wish you would just tell me how. That would,
I would love to assign a master to
I
this
would
minion.
love to do this if you would just tell me how to do it.
If you just
Can
tell
you
me.
hit me up with a link in that notice,
For
or
real.
Send me some documentation.
But you know what I did learn? I learned that you can drag creatures onto your character sheet to make a polymorph buff for it. To turn your character into that, and it will replace your actual token with the token of the monster you want to turn into, which is like neat, but
But not what you're looking for. Anyway, Corum, roll me a survival check. Um,
Oh my god, that burns. Oh, Jesus Christ, I didn't know that was there.
you got cut?
Yeah.
Anyway. So you, it's raining. It's still lightly raining. So it's not too hard to kind of track, this guy's path. It's pretty staggering and not very straight, but you can kind of tell that he, for the most part, knowing that he needed to try to follow the shoreline, has trucked on for quite a ways to make his way back. At least a few miles. Template NPC. Talents.
okay.
The template NPC, formerly known as Charity.
No, Charity's still there.
Okay, so for those of you with familiars, if I'm doing this right, which I believe I am, I'm not sure. Can you start a combat?
Yeah.
I actually prefer that we don't become in combat right now. I was just trying to go, like, out scouting for a little bit.
Well, they're
Not literally gonna fight. We're just trying to troubleshoot.
That's what you think. But Cameron, on the other hand...
you can't see him, but Cameron's leaning back in his chair and tapping his fingers.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Lightning to finish this familiar thing.
You're troubleshooting for everybody at once.
Yeah.
Sitting quietly in the corner, which I figured out.
You have been. I've been seeing the familiar to Game Master pop up and get deleted constantly.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you press Control Space and type in your familiar, you should see one that has minions.
Yep.
If you click on the import button, after you click on that, and then yep, but just drag it onto the map, and then I believe that makes it makes you the master because you dragged it onto the map.
You brought it into this world.
Exactly.
Now it's your problem.
You should be able to see it from your actor's screen.
Wait, now I have 2. It also says that my weasel has gained a level, but it did not.
Good for your weasel.
My weasel has skill points. I can select a class.
You're probably using the wrong weasel, then I would say. Oh, yep. And now when I click on this, if you Iris, if you click on this owl, it says Minion of Charity at the top left.
At the top.
Or maybe it's for me.
I think it's just for you. Click off your. You guys are on the other side of a wall, technically. I think. So it might just be
I don't even see
line
my
of sight.
token, I just see my weasel.
Because I think you're using an actual character, not.
Yeah, I see. I see two weasels. I see two weasels.
And a weasel.
I see weasels in the actor screen, so I'm assuming that's correct. Is you're using the.
Get rid of this weasel that I accidentally made a character.
Click the delete button.
I got it.
Ooh. Oh man, all my weasels are gone.
I'm sorry. I have
Weasel-less.
no weasels.
My owl, Sebastian.
Behavior.
Absolutely weasel-less behavior. Exactly.
I've named my owl Sebastian.
Okay.
Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna name my parrot.
So. Someone's gotta keep on this jet.
It's very cute that it follows you when you move.
Yeah, I
It's
highlighted
really
both
cute.
of them so I could.
Oh,
do
okay.
both at the same time.
I thought
It's
it
actually
just
not
did that automatically. Aw, that's so
Yeah.
sad.
It's not that cute.
Aw.
The way it like default imports the weasel makes it look so much bigger than Jericho.
It's got
It is.
it's got
actually,
like
it's actually a,
your weasel has armor, my dude. It's got a little neck. It's got a little
Why
neck
did you not
guard.
choose a familiar large enough for you to ride, Jericho.
He did.
Now if you click on your
Apparently.
weasel,
Twice
it
as
should
fast as him.
be a minion of yourself.
I
Grab
got
a cookie.
One is a capital weasel and one is a lowercase.
Well, there's three weasels. There's lowercase weasel. There's uppercase weasel, and then there's weasel minions, familiars, animal companions with a capital.
Right, where do you see that?
When you control space and type in weasel,
But yeah, that's what I did, and then I imported.
on the
it.
right side it says actors directory, minions.
Yeah,
And then it's that, yeah.
that's the one that I've been importing.
Okay.
That's the one.
Right, and then you go to the actor screen here, and you should see your weasel.
Yes, and I saw one weasel,
I
and I
was
dragged
thinking
it off the
Actors
street,
Guild, actually.
and made a second weasel. Oh, wait, you know?
You know why I made a second weasel? It just puts the owl on the screen for me. At this point, I have lost help with troubleshooting.
Yeah.
Wait a second. When you
Because-
drag the owl on the screen, do you see something? Like mine says, like make this an NPC, make this a character, make this
No.
a thing.
It just puts it on there.
What the fuck?
Huh.
What type should this actor be created as?
Huh.
Huh.
That's why I keep making
Huh.
multiple actors, multiple
See,
weasels.
for me, it just lets me drag in the weasel.
You do it as a
Terraco, you're broken. Sorry.
Oh, I
Today,
don't wanna be-
Terraco's broken.
Can you interact with this weasel I have summoned onto the page, Terrico? The one next to you?
No.
Charity, no longer the broken one.
No longer the only broken one.
True.
Here, we can leave, and then I can join in under under Terrico's account. See if I can make his weasel appear. That's the only thing I can think to do right now.
Represented actor. Weasel with a lowercase. Weasel, weasel, weasel. Yabo.
Okay,
Oh, do we just have 11 as weasels now?
I've tried so hard to delete the weasels.
Oh shit, which one have you used?
These weasels just keep multiplying.
They're not even rabbits.
Should have got your weasels fixed.
Cameron, it turns out you were wrong.
Yeah.
We'll go till like 10 o'clock just making weasels.
Yeah, we're not gonna play, but
We
we'll
will.
pretty good like session in.
Sorry.
You,
I thought it would be simple.
you
I
know,
did all the work.
It seemed like it should have been.
anyway.
It just keeps saying user JJ lacks permission to update actor on my screen, and I don't know why. I'm not doing it.
It does that
doing
when
that.
basically anyone tries to do anything.
It does what?
It does that when basically anyone tries to do anything.
Okay.
You've never noticed that before?
Not really, I guess.
Anyway, we'll deal with this later. Trina's making new races over here.
I'm making the badger.
Those instructions were for you too.
Yeah, those instructions were for you too, Katrina. On
So we now have a third different way.
all right. Well, we'll deal with this later. Anyway, guy got lost. Guy found his way home. He walked for a while. Blood trail the whole way. Well, occasional drops of blood, but it was not a pleasant ordeal. You can tell. All right. Well, let's just go to the next day then. Unless you guys have more you want to do tonight.
Were we going out?
I think we already did that.
Oh, we've gone and didn't find anything and come back.
I mean, you found his tracks.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess I'm just gonna make sure that we have like double the guards tonight. Besides that, yeah, I wanna go wander to the monster at night.
Boy, that's a lot of secret dice.
A lot of secret dice.
Might say too many.
Only 4. Only 4 secret dice.
I would say that's too many.
I would say
I
it's.
agree with Trevor.
I'd say it's not enough. Anyway, it was uneventful.
3 more than I would prefer.
There's a tenuous presence in the air as people are concerned with their safety now that someone has been effectively injured beyond expected means and not just put to sleep by a magic tree.
Dave loses fingers, but like,
Exactly. Seeing chunks of flesh cut off of someone and cauterized over, not the same vibe. I would like someone to roll me a d20, please.
Whoops.
wow, they both sucked.
Oh, great.
All right.
Why is Baloo rolling? What the fuck?
Charity. Roll me a d20, please. And you can add 1 to it. Okay. All right.
God damn, we would eat ass right now.
Six,
An NPC.
62 clear skies. 62 clear skies. The guy is still unconscious. And luckily he does not seem to be in worse condition than he was previously,
But also not better.
but also not better. He appears to be, at the moment, stable but unconscious. It's about 8 a.m. You guys are eating breakfast at this point. What do you guys do?
I go to the guard station and check with them. I assume someone else will probably join me, just to, you know, double check that nothing was seen rustling in the night. What's that called? When you debrief. There we go.
Okay.
And then I'll go to breakfast.
Okay. No, nothing happened in the night. If anything would have happened, they would have immediately gone and woke you guys up. Basically, it would have been like, "Oh shit, stuff's going on.
Okay.
Get your ass out here. We need leadership."
Well, I mean, they could have seen some shadows and maybe not been too spooked to wake us up, but I guess it was a little traumatic. They probably would have woken us up for a fucking squirrel.
I mean, they are trained professionals. They wouldn't have gone necessarily that far, but
Yeah.
they were definitely on edge. At this point, the tension's still pretty high this morning. A lot of people are kind of muttering under their breaths to each other over breakfast, and everyone roll me a listen check.
Got you.
Not as Baloo.
Oh, wait. Yeah, Baloo probably can't listen very well.
He's an animal.
He can smell. He's got great scent.
Yeah, but he can't hear in English.
Hector is just
Well, good thing other people heard.
Hector is
like
just
that.
like absolutely famished this morning after the events from yesterday, and like not having dinner in the mess hall, and just the guy hadn't been moved yet. No one was really sure. Yeah, you're just really zoning on breakfast. You're just kind of chewing and just
Priorities.
like almost, yeah, like you're really just kind of caught up in the sensation of eating. More than this, everyone else kind of gets that same feeling that people are pretty tense. Terrico, you kind of hear a few whispers of just kind of like, oh, well, why don't we have better defenses and stuff like this? And Charity, Yabo, Corum, you kind of hear these sort of the same sort of sentiments, and like, we need to do something about this. Where the hell is the rest of the squad? People are super worried. They're like, he came home looking like this. This isn't something like an animal would do. We've only come across, some strange creatures and critters, but, it's all been, very animalistic and kind of primal in that regard. Like, things are focused on their own survival, and this, while it looks like it may have been a survival need, this kind of intense dismemberment of this man, there's definitely a intentional and intelligent kind of cruel sadism that people have started to read into this, and people are speculating about various like bedtime story monsters and stuff that people had heard about previously, and like just kind of tales of like, oh, I heard goblins used to do this thing to bad children. They would abduct them in the night and cut off their parts and return them in the morning to their families. And oh, I've heard stories of squid-like creatures that would relish in the psychic screams of creatures in pain and torture just for that mental stimulus. It's kind of a lot of rumors and speculation about what the hell's happening, and really a lot of people kind of talking about like the speech that was gone over and like the trying to kind of calming reinsurance and stuff, but it's still very much there that people are kind of questioning their decisions at this point, and coming to this new place, that if they had the chance, if they would be willing, if they would want to leave again. So it's kind of the general vibe this morning. Most of the people aren't really necessarily making like super intense eye contact with any of you. They're kind of just kind of glancing away. There's people kind of avoiding what can only be described as the surgical table from yesterday. Even though it's been thoroughly cleaned and sanitized, people are still staying on the other side of the mess hall at this point. What do you guys do?
Okay, well, before lunch, we're gonna rearrange all these tables. Big shell game, nobody will know which one it was.
I think we should burn the table, actually.
We don't
That's
have the
just
resources to
ridiculous.
just burn our shit.
How big is the table? I forget.
I mean, it's like
How much wood is it?
it's like a mess hall table, like a cafeteria table. It's not insignificant.
So like
It would be like
Twelve?
it'd be like throwing a picnic table onto a campfire.
But then at the same time, I'm like, does that feed into, like, superstition and shit here?
Yeah.
I mean, if they're not gonna sit at it anyway, and I don't think it's any superstition that I can think of, but people don't want it there anyway.
Not specifically a superstition about the table, but just sort of superstition and rumor surrounding the whole incident. Not
Anyway,
specifically
I feel like it might be
table related.
for us to go crack the guys instead of figure out which
I eat breakfast at that table.
Okay, as everyone's kind of talking to you about this and you're noticing this, Hector very decidedly kind of stands up with his bowl of oats and fruit, his like tankard of watered down beer, and goes and sits on the operating table. Roll me a spot check, Hector.
I make a face of unease.
That is a good table. That is a good condition.
Table.
Like, you can really appreciate the kind of like a.
Very sturdy, it's really stable, it doesn't
Yeah.
wobble at all.
It's got a
Hector came in with earplugs and sunglasses on.
it's got a real.
It does.
It's got like a real nice lacquer to it that you never noticed before. That you kind of think for a second and don't think any of the other tables have. Someone must have really spent some time taking care of this table.
Can I see if Hector's husband is going to sit next to him at the murder table?
Hector's family kind of look at each other all a little uneasy. But in the end,
I'm worried that this superstition and rumor and all of this is going to do as much harm as anything else will.
they're kind of a little hesitant, but eventually, like, when they're almost done eating, they kind of get up and sit down to try to help play the part a little bit. That they're not doing it, but there's kind of a visible dis-ease still there. Even if it's not like a superstition or anything, just kind of a like, I'm in a place where a man who was on death's door was operated on yesterday, and I'm not sure how I feel about this. kind of sense about them.
Hector is just trying to like project an aura of normalcy. Like everything's cool, everything is chill. It's just a table. It's really well built. One of our best tables. We can't get rid of it.
Yeah,
It's just a table that had man's blood all over it last night.
and it's a very well lacquered table. It's got like a nice like rust finish to it.
Which means the blood wiped right off of it. Just rolled right
Yeah, the blood definitely just wiped right off. Yeah.
Way to go.
Um.
No.
I don't see any blood.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a nice, like,
Can't see anything at all.
it's just a nice red-brown lacquer. Um. Anyway, breakfast eventually ends. People are still kind of milling about. You can kind of hear some people talk about they're going to like try to take it a little bit easy today, like they're not really in a working headspace, and you don't expect a whole lot will be done today.
You know what?
You know, if
To think that we
for
can-
some people working will make them feel better, and for some people it won't. Sorry to interrupt. I have news You didn't see my 2 messages that I sent you about this?
Is your family talking about hot dog eating contests?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I
On
thought I heard
Facebook.
Jerry Chestnut.
I heard that he was
Pretty much dumpling contest.
yeah. I heard he's not
Why did he
allowed
get
to do them anymore.
Well, there seems to be some debate about that, because the second thing I sent you were his tweets about it.
You know what? I put the notifications off from Messenger, so I didn't even know. I don't even know unless I go in there.
He got a deal with, I think, Impossible to promote their plant-based hot dogs, and now Nathan, from what he's saying at least, Nathan's and Major League Eating are being shitty about it. There's major shade being thrown from both Major League Eating and from Chestnut right now, so I don't know what the truth is yet. It's surprisingly good drama.
Hot dog drama. Interesting. Anyway, breakfast ends.
I would say it's more of meat industry drama.
Okay, so were we going out again? Or
Yeah, it's about
that's
9:45.
the thing to do, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you guys are going to try to follow some tracks again.
I don't know if Hector can see him.
It can follow the person in front of me.
Well, it's not
Can
Hector's
you?
job.
Ouch. All right. Well, are you taking the wagon and the donkey?
I don't know that we want to put the donkey at risk in
Think
case
we'll
we
be
do
fine.
indeed find the thing.
I have a new spell.
Uh,
Oh god, that was fun.
Kinda don't want to spend like multiple days away from camp right now. I just want to go one day out, but if it needs to be farther, then like I want to come back tonight so that way we can reappear the town still. And then
Yeah, I'm in favor of that.
we can do a longer expedition starting tomorrow.
okay. Corum, go ahead and roll me a survival check. it's a little bit harder to follow the tracks today because they're a little bit older, but at this point, the rain's kind of stopped and the ground has mostly settled, and you're able to kind of follow the tracks that you were looking at previously. And let me get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So about how long are you guys going out for? Like, are you trying like 6 hours in, 6 hours back, or 6 hours out, 6 hours back? Like 5 and 5. Because 6 and 6 will get you guys back a little after dark.
Maybe 5 and 5 again. It would be better for us to get back before.
Yeah.
Alright, let me do a thing for myself. Oh, hey, look, a weasel token.
Hey, look, a week.
I can't.
They're just all over the place. They're just littered around.
No, it was more. I'm using the token instead of stealing one of yours because it was open. Perfect. Okay.
Wow, this monster turned out to be a giant weasel.
This whole time. All right. Let me go ahead and do that. And then let me go ahead and drag all of you guys over.
Not me. I already came over.
Because you were one step ahead.
Oh my god! That thing is massive. We're all gonna die.
Don't worry, we're also massive.
I do.
If I see that on the horizon, I will jump into the water and drown.
Reasonable, honestly.
Not safe, but reasonable.
Alright, here we go. Alright. You guys are this kind of yellow-orange oval. That's currently over the town. I assume you guys are heading due east?
That was the way the guy went, right?
Or due west, sorry. Well, he was more over the place, but generally, yeah, he tried to follow the coast. Alright.
That's the thing I can think of.
Someone roll me a percentile, please.
I'm not doing it. I'm rolling shit today.
Okay. Another one. Oh, that was not a bad one. Okay. Interesting. Interesting.
Bless you.
Alright. Let's just do that one more time.
Some of these aren't even for anything. Camera's just fucking around with us.
No, so they're all for things. 80. Okay, cool. One more. And this is.
Someone besides us, probably.
Yes, she's under my feet.
Alright. And lastly, this will be the last one. This will be 5 hours. I rolled the wrong die there. You guys don't really find anything of note. As you guys are kind of mostly just. Actually, roll me some spot checks. Roll me some spot checks.
My specialty.
How many?
Everyone just roll me one.
Oh my god.
That was almost a nat one.
While they're looking, like, following the trail, Charity's looking for more bird plants. She's not good at tracking things, so she's just kind of along for the ride right now.
Charity's just kind of like walking there, taking a nice casual stroll.
She's not looking for things she knows. She's looking for things that she explicitly does not know that looks like it may have. You know how plants use coloring and shit like that to signify.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm looking for shit that she does not know what it does.
Okay.
But it looks like it would do something.
Okay. Corum.
Yeah. Natural 20.
All right. Well, let me get that out of the way first, I guess.
Sorry.
So, okay. 32, 16, 18, 20, and 25 were the rolls on this one. Incredible. The best we have ever spotted something.
Don't forget about Corum's 32.
I said 32.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that.
You started with.
I thought you just started with mine. Yeah, Hector got his not being able to see out the way earlier this morning.
You know, maybe I was trying not to see this morning.
Yep.
Subconsciously.
Yeah. Definitely.
Eyelids weren't crusty at all. It's just...
Criminal. Here it is. This is what I thought it was. Okay. So you, as you guys are following this trail, managed to kind of make your way a lot closer to the ocean than you were previously when you were walking through here. And Charity, you see this mass. I don't think you guys have looked into this one. This kind of mass of red, stringy, just kind of sea plant. This red algae that's kind of washed up on shore in this kind of large, probably, I don't know, 50-foot wide kind of swatch of this kind of
Is it the same
plopped
stuff
up onto shore.
we had seen last time?
Yeah, you had seen it at a distance. You guys didn't get close enough to actually investigate it, because you guys were more concerned previously about it being, some form of animate creature. But now that you're a little bit closer and can see it a lot more clearly, and the fact that it hasn't moved as you were approaching, you recognize this as, like I said, it's this kind of deep red algae. Roll.
Get a pair of gloves and gather it up.
Roll me a knowledge check. Let me roll knowledge nature, yeah. It smells really fishy. That kind of strong, salty ocean smell. But as you're kind of handling it, it kind of almost reminds you of some sort of similar, other similar algae that are edible. They're not necessarily the most pleasant to eat, but it seems to be that it's likely some form of edible algae that's washed up on shore.
Hey, does anyone try this algae? It's edible.
Yeah, sure.
Here you go. We continue gathering it up. Charity is wearing gloves still. She just
Yep.
hands it to Kerr.
Can I roll insight on Charity?
I
I'm
was gonna ask if I could roll a knowledge
Or a
nature
sense
check
motive
to
or
see if
whatever.
Charity's feeding me something that could kill me.
you can roll a knowledge nature, and if you want Hector, you can roll a sense motive. Oh yeah, you know this stuff's edible.
Stoked.
You're like, this is. You're like, yeah, this is definitely edible. You're like, this is crisp Chandris, CRISP. I can just copy and paste it. A fairly common oceanic red algae that some people like to dry as a good source of mobile protein. It's not tasty. It kind of flakes. Yeah, it's pretty common. Like you get.
Oh, sorry, that was the beginning of a sentence. Is it common for there to be this much of it, for it to be this big?
Yeah, I mean it's an algae. It kind of grows in kind of general place of each other. It kind of blobs up as it kind of floats and kind of spreads itself. It's not too uncommon to see large kind of swaths of, this stuff wash up in the bay, right? Like if it has one way to go, it's going to eventually land on shore. So,
I just wanted to ask, because lots of stuff here is big.
yeah, no. You see kind of similar normal algae blooms kind of around where your guys' area is. Kind of wash up on shore, but no, this just seems like a normal plant that exists in the ocean that's just happened to wash up. But also Charity's not lying. She seems to be being truthful and giving her interpretation. For those other spot checks, Terrico, as you are walking along and Hector and Corum, while Charity's kind of examining this stuff and you guys are walking along still, you see a small kind of black shape that you recognize as like a blackbird, as a crow of some sort. That just seems largely motionless. Well, lying on the ground, a ways off. Corum, as you walk up, and as Terrico kind of points this out, you see that, while it is in fact a blackbird, there is appear to be at least one bright blue feather kind of sticking out of it at a strange angle. What do you all do?
When you say large, like large for a regular bird that we're used to, or like giant the way stuff is here?
I mean, it's just a big normal feather.
Okay.
No,
the
oh no,
bird is large.
no, largely still, largely motionless.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misheard that.
No, it is a normal-sized bird.
Okay.
That is just lying still in the grass. So Terrico, Corum, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
This is Charity.
I'll go. Yeah, I'll go check it out.
Charity kind of in the background poking this blob with a stick. So yeah, putting the bags, gloves still on. Okay, you walk over and you check it out.
Yeah.
It is
My clothes are in the dryer.
it is in fact
I'll
just
put my clothes.
an ordinary crow. But as you kind of approach and get a clearer view of it, it's not, blurred and disturbed by the kind of rolling grass of this plains that you guys are in. You can see that it has been struck by an arrow of some sorts, and is lying on the ground, dead.
I'd like to take a look at the arrow. I mean, I guess there's probably not a lot to go on, but like, does it look like our arrows that we make?
Roll me I will let you roll me a blacksmithing check.
Ooh.
I never get to roll blacksmithing. That's so exciting. Please do
Based off
good.
the way it landed, could I try and figure out likely what direction the arrow came from?
This is roll me a knowledge engineering. Because this is, arcs and mathematics. So, Hector, as you kind of are all brought over and shown this, you immediately pick up that this is not one of the arrows you guys brought with you. It is very primitive. The fletchings are kind of glued on with like a pine tar. They're kind of charred black. The shaft isn't perfectly straight. And there is no trace of kind of like a metallic arrowhead or anything. You kind of look at it and it's almost just like a like a pointed arrow, just a sharp dart almost in shape. It doesn't actually have some sort of arrowhead or fitting. It's kind of a clean puncture wound. Everyone looking around, roll me a spot check. Who's checking this out?
Who's checking the bird out at all?
Yeah, just kind of who's in the area.
Who's around? Oh my god. I had one good one. That was the only good spot check I had in me tonight, apparently.
Corum, as you're kind of leaning down, dusting the ground, checking this out, you can see that it looks like there was an arrowhead. It's kind of a stone arrowhead that had fallen off kind of the edge of the arrow, kind of in the nearby area. Probably fell off mid-flight almost. Very crude, very poorly made utensil. Tarako, as you kind of look at where the bird is laying and kind of its position, you kind of start kind of tracking a path of where you expected, like it may have flown up from or been shot. It seems like it was shot in air while it was flying, and it kind of came to a halt with its momentum where you found it dead. You kind of get a general idea of where it was shot, would have been shot from, and it seems to have been from kind of the more plains proper. It wasn't back from where you guys had come from. It's more from in the direction you guys are heading.
So we veer off to that direction, or we can find us any other track.
Yeah, I'll try.
Roll me another survival check. Ooh. Come back from a break and you guys start rolling hot. So thanks to Tarako's kind of rough crime scene analysis, I guess, of this poor bird, he guides you over to where he expected the air to come from, and as you kind of get down, dust off the ground a little bit, look for kind of disturbances, thanks to the kind of wet conditions yesterday and the much more airy, kind of dry today, you see several human hand-sized paw prints. Like, roll me a knowledge nature. They appear to be from some sort of canine. As you kind of look around the area, you see that there are some in sets of 4, and there are some in sets of 2. You also notice there are what will look to be like almost walking stick marks in the ground, kind of these circular, maybe 2-inch deep holes from something that's been poked into the ground. the, you know, what else would you see? With that, I'd say you kind of find some tufts of gray fur, gray and black. It's quite coarse and rough. And as you kind of look around, you kind of get the general idea that they came from presumably further to the southwest, past the swamp.
So we have
but-
dog-like humanoids. Yeah.
How big were the foxes? I'm really interested in how big stuff is today.
Human hand size.
They're pretty big. That's bigger than Zeus's paw. He got a big paw.
God damn it, we are colonizers.
We knew that.
That was so helpful that all the people here were dead. I'm hopeful that all the people here were dead.
Well,
And it's archaeology, not colonizing.
call it what you like with your fancy words.
No, then it's archaeology, not grave robbing. So,
Okay.
what do you guys do?
Definitely a thing to check out.
It's about it's a little after 3 in the afternoon.
I mean, we haven't found more signs of the scouting party we had sent out, right?
Correct. I will say it does almost seem like the creatures that these footprints and tracks and trappings that you've found do seem to have been in pursuit of Melton, who is the unconscious man back in town.
Yeah. I definitely think these are things, but I'd rather go back to town and tell people before we went off on our road. I personally suggest that we go back to town and better organize things, and then we can go on a multi-day adventure. These dogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Charity, I know you were just kind of poking some algae, but your thoughts on the situation? As you're not super strong, you can't carry a ton of algae with you yourself, especially with.
Yeah, I like to imagine Charity has a pouch of about like a pound of algae and then a large bag of about 10 pounds, and she's just kind of looking for someone to carry.
Yep, like you've got the little to go bag for yourself, and then you've got like the grocery bag full to hand off to Hector. So you guys kind of see Charity. You see
I'll carry the bag to you.
Charity kind of walks over, and these two bags just kind of dripping this kind of stained red seawater. It's not a very pleasant smell, but yeah,
Better than blood.
better than blood. So I guess you guys make your way back to town. You work up an appetite. Stop for lunch on the way. The algae is, if you tried eating it for lunch, because you did have some, and it's really kind of salty. Obviously, it's ocean, but it's salty, but not in a terrible like drinking seawater way. It's almost kind of got a savoriness to it. Yes, like umami. It's got kind of, oddly enough, like a mushroomy, earthy, almost flavor to it.
Umami.
So it's very much kind of this strange thing. It's because it's fresh right now. It's really slimy, but and stringy.
I'm gonna give
It's almost like a bunch of really, really fine rice noodles. or like hair that's been clumped together.
Oh, I liked rice noodles better.
I'm gonna give it to the chef lady to do with as she pleases.
Okay.
This seems more like an actual food and less of a chemical substance.
Less of I'm going to mush some leaves in a pot and see what happens.
Exactly.
Okay. She takes it. She's kind of like, well, I've got some other stuff going on. It's like dinner time at this point, but I'll see what I can do. As she kind of, you see her take out a fork from a pouch in her kind of her apron and kind of stir it around and see it kind of droop and bring a little bit up to her nose and smell and kind of spins it around like it's spaghetti as she takes a reasonable bite and is kind of like, that is the strangest combination of flavors and textures I think I've ever experienced.
Something new. Huh?
It's like I cut off some of my hair and I threw it in beef stock and ate it. I'll see what I can do to improve this texture. And she gives you a glass of lemonade.
Thanks. Charity walks away sipping on her lemonade.
She's got kind of a picture of her, a picture to herself that you can kind of see that's like tucked away behind some of the other food and storage. But you guys make it back to town. Anything you guys want to do tonight? It's about 8:39 at this point.
So
I want to
we should
talk
tell
to-
like. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I want to talk to Karis because she's the like the animal master person, and explain a little bit of what we know about the humanoid dogs, and ask if she has any thoughts or insight on how we can dissuade dog-like, human-like creatures from coming up to our populated areas.
Okay. So you explain like what you had seen and
Lay down, Zeus.
these kind of things, and Karis is almost befuddled at this description. And she's like, well, I've heard of like wolves, obviously, you know, they're larger than your standard dogs and domesticated animals, so, you know, some large footprints wouldn't be too out of the ordinary, but it's very concerning to me that you said that there were only animal footprints and no human footprints, but you saw something shot by a bow of some sort. Obviously, you know, dogs don't do that. But if we're trying to keep normal animals away, if we're loud, we keep some activity around, they're not going to encroach into our space unless they find something that's worth the risk. That is if they're, you know, normal wolves or dogs, but what you've described seems either far more intelligent or far more frightening than a normal wolf or even a dire wolf. They're much more
more hungry.
they're much more rare cousins. Oh, of course, yeah, much more hungry if you're suspecting that what happened to Melton's the byproducts of these things' actions. That's quite frightening, and I think it might be wise over the next couple weeks until we get this all sorted out that we've got these barns and stuff, but we don't really keep people on watch too much because we assume that those will keep, you know, the walls will keep animals out and the barbed wire, but if these things are smart enough to use tools, we might want to, you know, bring the cattle in and set up a small place either outside the walls of the town directly or somewhere where we haven't quite finished setting up yet. Because if they're going to go after people, they're going to go after a cow. They're going to go after a pig and some chickens. That's much easier than a human being to eat, I would think.
I would triple up on any outside activity beyond these walls. And I do think you should bring the animals closer to the gate.
Aye, aye. She kind of salutes you and gets back to kind of herding some sheep around and making sure they don't wander too far off. She kind of whistles, and this kind of black sheepdog, black and white kind of sheepdog, circles them in and helps her kind of corral all the animals to a little bit closer place to town where she can set up a tent and camp outside, or at least keep an eye on a little bit easier with some guards nearby. So, all right.
I have a master plan. You just spend the next 17 days carefully luring buggies towards us, but getting around we lure them directly into the den of the Stegosaurus dragon. Take care of each other.
Perfect.
See, I thought you were going to go the other route and be like, we slowly entice them closer to us until they don't want to leave, but they listen to what we say, and we domesticate the wolf people. Canine people.
1,000 years slowly convincing them
Exactly.
to stay by us because we can share the scraps of the hunt.
Exactly. Perfectly reasonable. Alright.
That was mostly born out of me going, oh, we have dog people to the left of us and dragons to the right.
Stuck in the middle with you.
Stuck in the middle with you.
That was the reference.
Um,
I got two of you.
anyway, yeah, it's 9 o'clock. Korum's talking to Karis, Charities, sipping on a lemonade, giving algae to the chef, Terrico, Yabo. Hector, what are you guys up to?
Urka's updating the engineering squad. I mean, mostly Melody anyway.
Okay, yeah. They're making
I
notes,
think we should let
brainstorming.
I think we should let, I mean, I assume we've told, whoever leads patrols and security.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that this is a thing that everyone needs to know right now, because it seems like it could freak people out more, but some people do need to know it.
Yeah, you're okay. So you're going around talking to the other team lead. So everyone's kind of talking to their different team members that need to know about it and explaining, "Hey, don't let this get out. You're upper echelon
I
still."
meant to bring the arrow back and didn't.
Yeah.
I assume someone brought it.
All the people who are just one level under us is what I was meant.
Yeah, exactly. You're not telling the random normal guard. You're telling the people who are in charge of people.
We probably let, people who have families. Hector, you should probably tell your husband. Yabo, you should probably tell your brother.
I mean, that's their
I
teams.
always forget about Yabo's brother.
I was just thinking, Yabo has
Yes.
a brother.
Yeah, that's why I brought it
How
up.
did I miss that?
Cause you never talk to him.
Yabo has two brothers.
He has two?
Yeah, Yabo. JJ only made 2 people for his group.
No, he made 3.
Did he make 3? Who's
There's-
the third one?
There's 3. They're all his. Oh no, never mind. Those are secondary
They're all
characters.
my brothers.
Oh no, never mind. He just has his character on the sheet with his NPCs.
Yeah.
Okay. Weird. Anyway, you guys are planning on going on a longer expedition?
I want to let my family know, and I'm gonna want to. I don't know if there would be anything further to be learned from examining the arrow.
Not
Probably
really.
not what I'm going to get at,
Um,
right?
Yeah. You show it to your Fletcher, kind of the same information. They kind of point out that like you can kind of see the slit where the arrowhead that fell out would have been, and a kind of bifurcation. How this arrow would not fly necessarily super straight and well. It either took someone who's very accustomed to these poorly made tools or someone very lucky to hit a crow in flight. Alright. Dawn the next day, it is 63 with a beautiful blue clear sky. I would like someone to roll me a d20. And then Charity, I would like you to roll me a d20 as well, separate from the other d20. Okay, so Melton his condition has not worsened, and it has improved slightly. His breathing's a lot more regular, and the kind of like trauma fever that he had previously has broken, and he seems to be on the upswing while still kind of unconscious. Charity, you have some of your doctors, your nurses, Sister Margaret are kind of carefully feeding him some really, watered down oats and porridge, and just kind of making sure that even though he cannot feed himself, he's still getting sustenance in some way to facilitate this recovery. If things carry on at this pace, the next 2 or 3 days, barring any complications, he should be conscious again. Beyond that, it's a new day. It's breakfast time. What is your guys' plan?
Feel like now's the time to prepare for a long journey.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that we've just kind of been like, we'll catch that later. This doesn't feel like it should be those things.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, by the way, what point? I realize we haven't mentioned it at all, but I don't know if Jericho and Charity even have recognized that we are starting to.
You got a little robot near the end.
Starting to what?
We are both wizards now.
Yeah, I don't think it's kind of come up that in any capacity.
I finally had enough time to think about it, so maybe it didn't come along last time. Maybe I was ironing out the kinks, but now my little robot weasel is definitely, robot bear is definitely with us, and I have named him Archimedes.
Okay.
Archimedes?
Little
Nice.
clockwork ferret.
Okay.
Loser.
What about you, Corum? You
I
said
don't know how the fuck I'm supposed to find this badger.
you know where there was a badger previously. Maybe you could have just stumbled upon a lone baby badger, or young baby,
Yeah.
older baby badger. Yeah,
Corum has been.
Corum's.
Corum has actually been smuggled this badger in, like, a month ago.
Oh yeah, Corum. Like when you first almost killed Yabo, you like found the babies of this mother badger, and you just kind of took the one living baby out of the den and tucked it into your coat jacket and have been slowly feeding it milk and things, pretending that it's for the cats and the dog, but it's really been for this badger.
You think Corum felt torn up about almost killing Yabo? Nah, man. You fucking killed this badger's mom and almost killed Yabo.
Mm-hmm.
We did like a couple weeks ago in game, or like when we were looking for the dragon, didn't we like kill a whole bunch of badgers?
Those were rats.
Rats.
Oh, it's rats.
Corum doesn't give a fuck about rats.
All figured out how this works now. I've decided that Archimedes was finished tonight because while Terrico was explaining this to the squad, it was stress tinkering, and it finally worked.
So Terrico's like describing all the horrible past 2 days from his perspective to his team, and is like, "Sorry, I haven't been able to help. I've just been, so stressed." And he just turns the key, like just turns a gear, tensions a spring just right in his frustration, where you hear a little chitter 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 squeak squeak squeak, as it kind of click 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 sits up and takes its right paw and kind of scratches at its nose as it kind of looks at you. These two got a shiny little black glass eyes.
Like lean over and whisper to it to go jump on Gwyn.
Squeak squeak squeak. Scurry 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 scamper. Roll me. Let me roll this here. I got a nat 20.
Just right on the top
So
of their head.
it gives you a little it kind of squeaks a little salute as it kind of you hear a cranking, just a crank, 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 crank. Just you hear the tension building up in this thing's mechanical back legs as its head kind of swivels. You see a little gyroscope in its skull start spinning up before all the tension is released, and it leaps across the Tinkerer's workshop, lands on Gwyn's head, and just kind of begins curling up and making a nest in his hair.
Yeah. It's a success!
There's a small celebration from everyone in the room, and then Gwyn kind of scoops it up out of his now very knotted hair and hands it back to you and says, "And the wolf people?"
Oh. Yeah. Well, the ferret will be helpful, right? I mean, like, it can't be bad for this. I mean, we're going out tomorrow to go take care of that, and, hopefully we'll back.
Well,
We
don't
have to get.
don't
I have all the schematics here, so you might be able to make your own.
Thank you, Terrico. Please do not come back dead. I don't know what my life would.
Dead, I will back. Oh.
Don't be brought back dead. Don't be brought back dead. We. It might not seem like it, but we need you around here. Or at least my sanity needs you around here. You keep things interesting.
Making it about just you, that feels cool. Making about the sound like the whole town works around me, well, that's what causes me to stress to make this. So, actually, maybe that's good for me. Maybe I should go work on something else. See that wand?
He kind of hands you the wand. He kind of hands you the wand of darkness, and he's like, "Well, last time you stress tinkered, we had, I think, more misfires than this thing has ammo left, but you're the one who knows better." As he kind of hands it to you for you to.
A good point. I know there's not a lot of damage.
So see, the fun thing is though, now suddenly you have, like, after all this work in tinkering and analyzation of all these mechanical things that you'd been put into, you finally understand how this one works in its capacity, and if you needed to and had access to some higher quality components, think you could recreate its effect.
Yeah, that was about what I was trying to get out of, like, you're just a sticker with the wand, was just to get the idea that
Yeah. Alright. Yabo, you tell your brothers?
I do.
Okay, they're the sort of, guard people for the most part, or at least that's what they were originally. They kind of keep their eyes open, and we'll let you know. So, all right. Well, it's the next morning. We already did that. So what's your guys' plan?
Well,
Yes. This seems to be a danger, from what you can tell, almost exclusively from the west, almost exclusively located within the plains.
Oh, okay. So we don't have to
You don't have to what?
go to the swamp.
Oh, I mean, none of the tracks you have seen have had any indication that they came from the swamp. Correct.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. For some reason earlier when we were talking about the bird, I thought you said it was like southwest.
Southwest from where you guys were previously, like not necessarily
Okay.
pure southwest. If you're still on the map screen, like over like this direction,
Okay.
you guys were kind of more over here, so it's more like there.
Okay.
More west southwest.
Black dot was where we found the bird and when I had my
No, the
encounter.
black dot is the town. Oh, sorry, the rectangle. Yeah,
The one-
the rectangle. Yeah, that is where you guys found the mechanical bird. Yes. The church.
I was worried if we had to deal with the swamp, but I guess we can just go around it, so. Yeah, I guess we just go bring the donkey and the cart like last time and do our best. Any other ideas?
I don't know anything better.
Yeah.
All right. For the sake of expediency, I'm not going to make you guys roll those percentiles again until you get back to where you guys are going. You guys are planning on staying out of town for a little while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
How long did it take us to get to the church building again? That was like
I think it was 2 days. 2 days there, 2 days back. But that was also, you guys were exploring. You weren't focused purely on travel. You were stopping to check out plants, to see what you could find around any areas. You weren't just focused. And this is sort of a similar situation because you will be following tracks, so you will be slowed. So presumably it would take about 2 days if that is where the tracks lead.
alright. Right. We have like a thing donkey, right?
Yes.
Um,
What all the have. Showing me how far we can fuck the donkey.
Sorry, what was that about the donkey? What are you looking for?
I'm trying to understand / remind ourselves what's going on with the donkey's carrying capacity and how that changes our travel speed.
I don't think we were concerned about the donkey's travel speed, mostly because it's pulling a wagon already, which is impacting its travel speed in that regard. The stuff on the donkey is kind of irrelevant to that fact.
Yeah, because we definitely dropped off all the plants and the meteorite. I think some of the meteorites hanging
Oh,
out
yeah.
with some of it hanging out with Hector, and I don't remember if some of it hanging out with Charity.
Probably. It's just around. It's a nebulous resource that exists somewhere. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
We should actually wrap it. He didn't hear that, but
We're losing Jordan rapidly. Well, I guess we can an idea. How long do you think we should be out for? Like, I'm just vaguely thinking up for like a week total.
that's kind of what I was thinking. That's a good round number, you know.
Yeah.
like 3 days out, 3 days back, or
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Like a week seems fast now.
Mhm.
speak English. We don't know.
I guess I could.
They shoot arrows. What's to say they don't speak English from that point, you know? I feel like the jump from being dodged to shooting arrows is bigger than the jump from shooting arrows to speaking English.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's the difference between speaking and speaking are exactly language.
Yeah, fair enough.
Considering they came from a magical continent that flies up ruins and seems like it might get even teleported to a different planet.
Okay. I have returned. What discussion have I missed, if any?
JJ is falling asleep.
Okay, I was going to say, do we want to just call it here? Because it is getting late.
Yeah, it seems like a good stopping point.
Yes.
We're ready to go out adventuring.
You know, I was going to say we're so far as you are adventuring, because I'm just going to move you your current position.
We decided we were going to bring enough supplies for a week trip total, without traveling there and traveling.
Okay. A week total for the 5 of you, or a week total including the 4 people who are missing.
Oh, that's a good question.
Idea. It seems that we would just have extra time planning that far ahead, but maybe bring bonus.
And that is also, assuming quorum and you guys don't find any food on foot.
Yeah, but it's probably better to not rely on that.
But that is 1 check a day to try to feed all of you. So
I mean,
So we would need a week worth for us, and then 3 days worth for them, presumably, right? Or roughly.
honestly, I would say let's just go for a week worth for them. Like, let's just grab 2 weeks worth, because, like, based off of what happened to the last guy, if we're maybe they're really hurt and travel less fast.
We might have to camp out a little bit too.
Okay, so if we bring 2 weeks worth of rations, that covers us for a wide range of scenarios.
yes.
And maybe we could use it as, like, a type of trading or something.
We could also hunt instead of bringing so much rations.
Well, that goes on to quorum survival checks. That's the same thing. If you can't rely on, you can, but you can't necessarily completely rely on quorum. This is the backup food.
Yeah.
And then we should bring medical supplies also.
Yeah, we have those bandages that we've never used, right? I don't remember if we always have those on hand, but we definitely should now.
I think so. I think Charity carries those around, right?
Yeah, they're in her pouch.
That and the
Sometimes she gets confused and goes, "Oh wait, these are the magical ones. I need the normal."
oh no, these are the medicated band-aids.
Wait, I need to know, are they still, branded that?
I do not think they were branded anything in my bag.
See, I don't see them in your bag unless they're hiding in a folder somewhere.
They're in my notes, probably. Yeah.
Oh, probably. Yep, that'd be it. 48 charges.
I wanna know
Minor
if
cure.
our world has like a Band-Aid company or Kleenex.
You'll bandage.
That is very funny though, Trevor. The fact that these are probably brand name things that were supplied to us.
Oh my goodness, somebody was
Right?
purring.
Like,
What if the,
That's fun.
like what if the companies that funded us, like some of them are, like one of them is a medical company, so all of our medical supplies are like
They're all just
specific brand of medical supplies.
they're all just subsidiaries of your main employer
yeah.
for tax purposes. They're all considered different entities for tax purposes, so they have to donate separately, even though it's the one big corporate umbrella. They're really great value brand, but that's basically the same thing. All right.
Like all the lumber that came at us with like Onion brand logging or whatever.
Yep, exactly. Old
There's
Paul.
Great Glue when they have an M on every package.
Anyway. Are we likely good for next week?
I think so.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Good. And then we're all leveled up. We got that all sorted out. So we don't have to worry about that next time either.
And we're prepared to go on our journey.
And we're prepared to go on the journey. You know what your goal is. Alright. Well, I'm going to hit the stop streaming button then.
This is maybe the most advanced planning we've ever done.
Bye.
Bye, Shram.
Oh yeah, don't forget to like and clip.
I believe you forgot to call it engagement.
Yeah, gotta like, comment, subscribe, and do all the algorithm things or whatever. Anyway, bye, stream.